Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely stream deck. For more information about the stream deck, the link is in the description below.
Hello and welcome to round 5 of the AOR Project Cars 2 GTE League. We are here at Fuji GP for another exciting 90-minute race today. So it should be shaping up to be a good one. I am joined as always by the one and only JP McKinley. Hello.
Oh, what? No insults tonight?
No insults tonight. You deserve better, I feel, so no insults today.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, welcome everyone. This is round 5, and this is probably my favourite round that's going to be on the calendar. I think. Been looking forward to this all season.
Yeah, I think we both have. Given the changing conditions we're going to have here today, it's, as we said, a 90-minute race, which is starting in the rain, moving to a medium cloud for the latter stages of the race. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with pit stops going into it. And yeah, we're in qualifying now with just under 10 minutes left to go. Boj Franz is currently our pole sitter with a 135.4. Close behind is both Asturbo and WMDR Martin, both within 2 tenths. WMDR Martin just jumped into second there as we speak, and they ordered jumping around as they come around to finish their second hot laps here. So yeah, a great track here for GTEs. Nice, wide, fast Fuji GP circuit.
Yeah, we should see some fantastic action tonight, but I think they'll have to go some to live up to the expectation of what was last week's race. But I'm sure the guys will give it a good shot. Yeah, just going back to qualifying, Boj Grinder's pole time, well, current pole time, was actually set behind when he was getting a tow from Lord I don't know down the start-finish straight. So I think that's actually helped him to get that extra tenth. So I think the tow is incredibly strong here tonight, and I think the guys will have to try and get that there sorted to get up the leaderboard.
Yeah, we'll see if any teams decide to call that team card and give each other a bit of a tow for a couple of laps, but at the moment they seem to be out on their own. As you go over to Asturbo in his Ford, heading down the start-finish straight late now. Such a long straight.
Yeah, and the start-finish is quite late as well, so this is where you can actually gain a lot of time if you have a car in front. But Asturbo doesn't seem to have that the pleasure of having someone in front of him. Let's see the kind of time if he can improve. He doesn't need the tow, it seems. He's absolutely flying. He's 3 tenths up.
Fantastic lap there by Asturbo. We'll see now if as the tyres start to warm up and get into temperature, if anyone else can improve. WMDR Martin joins him on the front row, just over a tenth off Asturbo. So these lap times are pretty close so far. Boj Grinder is next to come out the final corner and head down that long straight towards the start-finish line. Trying to get the tow there from the yellow Ferrari ahead.
That's the yellow Ford of Lord I don't know who just came into the pits, I believe. But yeah, Boj Grinder looking for the tow to try and up, and that's definitely helped. He's up 10th up on Asturbo. He's the first man into the 34s. But yeah, that's as you can tell, that Aston looks to be a right handful, so he's definitely needing the tow to get up there. But yeah, not taking it away from him. That's a fantastic lap. Another man in the Ford sitting in P4 is Crum. Normally a midfield sitter, but he seems to be pretty fast here tonight. He's sitting with a 35.6, sitting P4. Let's see if he can improve. Head into the chicane now. Getting a bit of a drift on, losing a tiny bit of time there, but this is the second end of the second sector. Only the last 3 corners to go, but it's a very easy way to lose time here in the third sector.
Yeah, and one thing that's pretty interesting is we see Asturbo now jumps back into that pole spot, getting another 2 tenths on Boj Franz. going back to what I was saying, what's interesting is seeing the actual time trial fastest times at this track. The guys are qualifying at the same pace. They'll be top 3 of the leaderboards with the pace that they're showing now, and that's on a default setup, whereas the people on the leaderboards are able to do their own custom setup. So it just goes to show how fast these guys are pushing now for qualifying when they're managing to match top time trial times with just these default setups.
Yeah, definitely. It's just goes to show the talent that these guys have. But we'll see now how fast Bushgrinder can go. He's not got a tool this time. See if he can improve to take back pole position. He crosses the line any second now. He doesn't improve, but yeah.
Dakota, nearly 5 minutes left of this qualifying session. We have currently sitting As Turbo on pole, Bojfran second, De Martin in third, and Crom is in fourth. Ultimate Cars are in fifth so far. So Crom, not seen him up near the front end much before, but here he is today, showing his stuff and mixing it in with the big boys. And a name that I seem to be missing from this at all is Mr. Valeside Racing. Any word from him tonight? But I'm not seeing him at all on my leaderboards.
Yeah, I can't. I was just looking for him as well, but that's why I decided to pick out his teammate. But yeah, I don't know if Valeside's managed to make it in tonight. But it's definitely a big lose in the championship because he is sitting currently P3 in the championship, 40 points behind As Turbo. But yeah, I think this could be a championship that if you miss one race, you're pretty much out of it because of the top 4 to 5 cars are always in the in the top 5. They're just in a different order pretty much every race. But yeah, needle lap improving by 1.6, or sorry, 0.16 even. To stay where he is, sitting P10, but he's right behind his Baruda teammate of Too Fast in P9.
Yeah, the Badura guys being constant participants of the AOR leagues here on Project Cars 2, so it's good to see them here for the GTEs as well. They're all battling it out, and 9th and 10th is respectable in this field.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and their other counterpart, the third member, Paul, is currently sitting in the pits. But yeah, we'll have a look at Crab, the WMDO Martin's teammate, to see how he's getting on. Currently sitting P13, 2.4 seconds off the pace of As Turbo, but he's currently almost 3 tenths up, coming around that long right-hander. It's a little bit ragged there, but I don't know, does it cost him that much? Not using all of the road either, so he's not pushing. He could definitely be pushing a bit harder.
Yeah, it looked like
but
he
I'm
went
no
a bit
expert on this
wide
either.
on 100R, I believe it is. It looked like he may have invalidated his lap, so he may not be pushing this lap too hard, as we see possibly his teammate there, WMDL Martin, off in that hairpin. But he is up on his time, so we'll
he's still up,
yeah. See if it's actually a valid time. 0.1 of a second, with only gaining 1 spot at the moment, up to P13, taking it away from captain. As comes out of the last corner, gets that throttle down. Again, it's such a long straight. You're preparing to see his lap time, and you have to wait another 10-15 seconds for him to get to that start-finish line before you know what time it is. Just over the grid boxes now. And it looks like he's down a slight bit.
Yeah, he just lost it a slight bit in the last sector.
That last sector is really, really difficult. You got a few off-camber corners and the gradient changes as well. It's really hard to nail those last few corners and get it right. Especially the exit onto that main straight is really, really important. But the track almost gets away from you as you come off that corner, so it's gonna be hard to get the power down without getting it a bit sideways coming off it.
And this is a man that loves using all of the road. You can tell him here, right out to the extreme left of the long right-hander, trying to carry as much speed around as I thought he was giving up there for a second. It's just that, yeah, he has. He was pressing the brakes. We'll jump to currently P3 as WMDR Martin, who has just gone slightly wide and all just gathers it together in time. But yeah, less than a minute left, so this will be, if Martin can get around in time, which I don't think he can. This is Martin's last flying lap. We'll see if he's up or not. There is a Ford off on the grass, making sure he gets out of the way. And Martin is down, so he's got 30 seconds to get round to the start-finish line. Sorry, but we'll see if he can do it.
Traffic in front of him as well, so hopefully that won't disrupt him too badly. But it stands Fuji Grinder and AOR Turbo in the pit lane, so they're set their times here now.
Yeah, this is a last-ditch effort for WMDR Martin. He's got 10 seconds to get to the line. It's a hell of a long straight.
I'm sure he's counting down every one of those seconds.
3, can he get there?
I think
I'm
he may
not
have.
sure he got there.
We'll have to see now how he pushes this lap. He's still can't really tell. He's breaking into turn 1, slow hairpin for turn 1, but it looks like he's still pushing. So I assume the lap is still live, and he got there in time.
Yeah, definitely. Well, everybody behind him definitely didn't make the mark, but he was right on the limit. Yeah, as Delta says that he's pretty much matching his fastest, but his fastest is currently half a second down on AOR Turbo. But he's going to be right on the limit now because he can't lose anything from this because P4 and 5 are in the pits, and so is P6 Ticklish. Yeah, pretty much all the top 10 are in the pits right now. But Martin, only man out on track, that could really upset Pole as he goes slightly wide there. And he's on the grass. He's pushing so hard.
Still slightly down in his time, but we'll see as the car in front, smoke everywhere, getting out the way of Martin as they invalidate the lap behind him. But he's coming out to the final corner of the track. He is only slightly down. Has he gained anything in this final sector? We'll have to wait and find out as he pushes down this straight. Pretty good exit there.
Yeah, slightly drifting the final corner to get the rotation of the car. But can he get round to upset AOR Turbo or Fuji Grinder? Will he stay P3? He doesn't. He stays P3 overall.
Great qualifying there. Our pole sitter is AOR Turbo. Joining him on the front row is Fuji Grinder. Second row is WMDR Martin and Crom. And I've said last week I'll remember how to pronounce his name, and I haven't. So it's still going to be Ultimate Cars for this week as well in P5. Followed by Ticklish Picklewickle in P6. Lord I Don't Know taking P7. Too Fast in P8. JJ P9 and GC Raider rounding out the top 10 for qualifying.
Yeah, and then we've got Needle Lap in P11, we've got Darefile P12, we've got Crab down in 13th. We've got Crab down in 13th, we've got Captain in 14th, we've got Party in 15th, we got Deepak Raj in 16th, we got Pole, one of the Baruda boys, in 17th, we got Balara in 18th, and we got Gwegwin in 19th.
Yeah, so it looks to be again another close race. It's too close to call it. I wouldn't want to say who's going to win this one. I'm not sure who won out last time we were in the wet conditions. I believe we had Road America where Ultimate Cars took the win there, followed by AOR Turbo and WMDR Martin. So where we starting from P5 seems to be pretty good when it comes to the rain. So I'd watch out for Ultimate Cars in this one.
Yeah, Ultimate Kazi is seems to be a bit of a Michael Schumacher-esque driver. Schumacher used to love it in the rain, and definitely he loved it at Road America. Did Ultimate Kazi, so it should be a good race for him. We will be watching Ultimate Kazi But yeah, you can't really rule out anybody else on the grid. Like Crumbs in P4 seems to be doing fantastic here. So yeah, it could even be WMDR Martin or As Turbo or even Bose Grinder could make up for his excursions at Laguna Seca and take the win tonight. That could really be a lottery. Even Ticklish Picklewickle could even jump up and take the win tonight.
As we say that, I think we've just lost Crom from the lobby. Looks like that P4 grid spot has been vacated, and
yeah,
Ultimate Cars has been promoted up to P4 on our leaderboard. So unfortunately, Crom has been dropped. I'm not sure what will happen, whether we plan on restarting the lobby to let him join in, or whether we're just going to continue as we were. But as these drivers get away for the start of the race, they're just going to pull away and form up for the formation lap. We'll have a quick look at the league calendar to see the final couple of races here. Obviously tonight we have Fuji GP, and we're on 10 times progression tonight, so we're expecting quite a dramatic change in temperatures throughout the day. And a 90-minute race, half rain, half dry. Really exciting stuff tonight. And then next week we'll be at the final round in Oschersleben doing the A circuit. Nice sunny conditions for a 50-minute sprint there to round out an amazing season we've had so far. Jump back to the action now. See Ticklish Picklewickle with that promotion up to P5 on the grid now. See if he can capitalise on that. Conditions look pretty tricky out there. People trying to warm up their tyres, which will be stone cold already after sitting on the line at the start and taking the opening lap at this pace. Get any heat they can. These torrential downfall conditions we have going on here. I'm sure they're all thinking about that.
Yeah, there's absolutely torrential tonight, but it will dry up. But when will the pit window be open? We do not know.
Wait for the rain to stop. Everyone knows the weather conditions going into this, so they'll know that the rain is going to stop. And obviously, with default setups, I guess, could change things based on the fuel loads. I'm not sure what fuel loads cars have been given, but we should hope to see the same amount of pit stops. If cars have to double pit for fuel and tyres later on, then it could be a bit unfortunate. But focus now for these drivers will be going into turn 1. What are the brakes going to do? Where can you brake in the rain? Hopefully we've had a few practice laps around here in these conditions to know how to best take this turn 1. See As Turbo now just taking the pack away. It's up to him. When he decides to put his foot down is when the pack can go. Anytime that he reaches over these grid markers. Martin right up behind As Turbo at the start here, ready to go, and they are off at the start of this race. So Martin's made a pretty poor start compared to Ultimate Cars on the outside, who's got alongside him. But As Turbo obviously has the advantage of knowing when he's going, has got the advantage into turn 1. Rose Grinder keeping his P2 as well. Martin keeping that inside line, managed to stay on P3. They head down now towards the second turn. WM Martin Ultimate Cars having a bit of a scrap there, but WM Martin just staying ahead. I think we've unfortunately have an issue, technical difficulty with JP, so I'm on my own for now, but we'll try and keep it going. As Turbo now go through 100R, sorry, wrong Japanese track for the first time. Keeping the lead of this race safe, and managed to put a bit of a gap for Rose Grinder just on this opening lap, who could be holding up the rest of the pack here. Allow As Turbo to get away for a bit. So it seems like everyone's through safely. The first few corners here as we head down towards second turn. Rose Grinder's gone wide into the hairpin. He's missed his brakes and lost it through there, so we'll see where he rejoins now, having to take the escape route. Coming back on in P3 by the looks of it. So not too bad for him. Hopefully no damage there from any of those bollards that he had to go through. But that will promote W&L Martin up to P2 to try and chase down AS Turbo as they take it very steady through these corners on their opening lap. Feel for the grip, find out where they can actually push it at all. Coming out of this last corner, obviously some qualifying, some cars getting a bit sideways coming out of there, but AS Turbo having a good exit and getting down to finish the opening lap of this race. AS Turbo holding on to the lead, W&L Martin getting past Bojgrinder after his incident, and then Ultimate Cars in 4th, and Ticklish Pickwickle still in 5th.
Yeah, I'm back now. Sorry about that there, slightly internet connection there issue, but we are back up and running, guys.
Welcome back. I'm glad to have you back because I don't think my voice can last 90 minutes of the race we got here. As Bojgrinder's trying to make a move back, he went around the outside of turn 1. He's going to have the inside going into turn 2 here. Martin giving him the space. Usually quite a fast corner in the dry, but in these wet conditions you probably have to brake and lift quite a bit more. But Bojgrinder getting the move done there. Martin having to concede back to P3 again.
Yeah, hopefully I didn't miss too much, but now that I'm back, let me get my commentator voice back up and running. See, W&L Martin now look for a decent exit out of there. He's right in the slipstream, heading down to the down to the chicane, right behind Bojgrinder. AS Turbo's got a great lead. He's built up on the first lap, but yeah, Bojgrinder seems to be in control of this matter as they all seem to go pretty deep into that corner. But look at Ticklish Picklewickle in the background, still hanging on, and he's, if anything, he's starting to pressure Ultimate Calze right now.
Yeah, that
there's a Ferrari back off in the background. The Crab was off in the background here.
Yeah, he's lost a few places there, back down to P8. But yeah, the front engine car of Ticklish Picklewickle in his BMW, that's got to help in these conditions, just keeping a lot of weight on the front end to help with his steering here. So allowing him to stay with Ultimate Cars as he's actually looking to make a move on the inside, but I'm not sure that's going to work. He's not going to get the exit he needs from that final corner.
Yeah, but he's going to be right in the slipstream now. As Ultimate Calze is already going defensive, he's slowly weaving back and forth in the track. Ticklish Picklewickle will be enjoying this race. He knows there's a huge opportunity for big points up for grabs tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be, with the distance of the race, we've got 90 minutes, he'll be happy just to keep at those. Crab is trying to make a move now, he's like just staying ahead there of Party and P9. But going back to Ticklish Picklewickle, they've got quite a big gap now to P6. If he can just hold on there and not slow the drivers down too much between them, they can build a bit more of a gap and have a lot safer race towards the later stages and battle a bit harder then, rather than risk keeping some cars coming with them for these early stages. But Bojgrinder,
yeah, for sure,
looking to try and attack on AS Turbo. He's edged a little bit closer each lap here since getting past W&L Martin, so see how that progresses.
Yeah, another front engine car looking to do absolute max attack in the first opening stint, because there will be a pit stop tonight as AS Turbo goes slightly deep as well, as so does Martin. But the Aston in the rain doesn't seem to have that issue and can definitely take the slower corners a bit better. And he's right on AS Turbo now, right on the back bumper as he currently in the middle of the third sector. And if Bojgrinder can get this last corner perfect, he will be surely in prime position to take the lead of the race into turn 1.
Yeah, as you said, Bojgrinder will be looking to take advantage of this rain in the first half in probably the better car in these conditions, as he gets a bit squirrely on that exit. Not the exit he would have looked for, but
yeah, he has dropped back. He has dropped back, but I can already see that the P3 setter W&L Martin, the cogs will be going in his head right now, trying to think like, right, what strategy should I be going to, to try and get the leads to win this race, because he is an absolute master of these type of conditions with changeable conditions. We've seen that in the Formula C when at the Red Bull ring, when he did an absolute masterclass in strategy with the changing conditions and won the race. We'll just have to keep an eye on him right now. But yeah, Bojgrinder's still hanging on to AS Turbo right now. This is the rivalry, it's been renewed since last week. There is definitely history, and Bojgrinder will be out for revenge.
Yeah, hopefully he'll do it on track with some clean racing. It seemed last week, from what we saw, that Asturbo took a bit of a dive on Bojgrinder and may have made contact, but there was nothing back from the stewards on that one, so the results stand as they were last week. But Ticklish Picklewood getting the move done on Ultimate Cars into that corner, but breaks very late, very deep, and has to concede the position back. He just can't get the car stopped in time into that corner, so I'm sure he'll still be filled with confidence knowing that he can get these opportunities as opposed to being stuck behind him. Just needs to work back now, get back on his tail and try again next time and learn from that mistake.
Yeah, normally Ticklish is a very calm, cool, collected kind of person, but he seems he's absolutely in a racing mood tonight. And it's great to see. He wants to get on the podium. He wants to see what he can do, but we'll jump back to the leaders. And the gap that Asturbo has is slowly coming down, but I don't think it's going to be enough. But then again, the straight is quite long. We'll throw up the track map there that we see, but I don't think it's going to be long enough. It will be a bit of a dive if Bojgrinder tries anything from back there.
Yeah, he's just going to settle behind now. These front two are pulling away from P3 at the moment though, so again, they may be... I know Bojgrinder's not one to just not fight for positions, but maybe he's thinking long term and just wanting to get away as a pair from the rest of the group as we go to JJ now, fighting there with Pol, one of the Badura guys, looking to get down the inside into turn 1.
And it seems that they're all 2x2 right now. There's 3 sets of 2s right in front of us, but we'll concentrate on JJ right now. And Pol. JJ holds position. Pol hangs it around the outside of turn 1 to try and get the move made. He's got inside for turn 3 here. Well, he have to break earlier, but JJ hanging around the outside, and he comes out on top. Pol comes out on top, but now JJ has the inside. They've been side by side since the start finish. JJ takes back the possession back up to P12. Now Pol is looking for the inside, and JJ looking to go defensive into that. And now Pol will get the cut back if he can get Ilby on the power earlier. And they are once again side by side as they head down towards the chicane. And this is fantastic stuff to see.
Yeah, it's great to see the battles happening all up and down the field as JJ getting the inside now into the hairpin where a lot of cars have gone deep, but he seems to hold it there and parks it on the apex to not allow Pol back through. So JJ seems to have claimed that position now, and great battling there for over half a lap, those two guys just going at it side by side.
Yeah, very hard but fair racing. And Bojgrinder is a bit closer to this lap, but still just not close enough. His last lap was 2/10 faster as Asturbo was quite deep into turn 1, and Bojgrinder is your new race leader. But Asturbo looking to hang around the outside of turn 2 and up the inside of turn 3. Or will Bojgrinder cut him off and take the lead? Yeah, Asturbo thinks better of it and slips back into P2, and Bojgrinder is your new race leader.
Yeah, a rare mistake there from Asturbo going wide into turn 1 allows Bojgrinder just to make the easy overtake on the inside and claim it before getting to the kink of turn 3. So let's see what Bojgrinder can do now. Does he have the pace over Asturbo in these conditions, or was he just sitting behind quite nicely? We'll have to wait and see. But these pair have a 4-second advantage now over P3 of WMDR Martin. So even though they're having a bit of a scrap together, they are still pulling away from the rest of the pack, which both of them will be thankful to see.
Yeah, I think Martin right now will be kind of hoping that they start to battle a bit more, but I think Bojgrinder, with the pace that he has, I think he could just maybe start slowly walking away from Asturbo. Not even like pulling a big gap, just easing away. Like, doesn't need to take too many big risks. Like, it is still raining, like it is easy to make a mistake here at Fuji. As he's drifting the final corner trying to get the power down, but he knows Asturbo is right there, and surely Asturbo's going to be in the slipstream, and he surely is. The gap is closing rapidly as they head towards the start finish. Bojgrinder goes slightly defensive to the middle of the track. Asturbo is right in the slipstream. They cross the line now, and Asturbo has to make a decision. He goes, I'm going outside, buddy, you can do what you like. Asturbo going to try and hang around the outside. Bojgrinder goes to the inside to defend. Bojgrinder gets it slowed up for the apex, and Asturbo doesn't make the move stick, but he slips back in and is definitely showing his intent that he wants that race lead back.
Yeah, he had a great run there, so unfortunately couldn't make the move stick, and Bojgrinder managing to hold on to the lead of this race. So we'll have to see what happens again next lap, because Bojgrinder, a couple of times now I've seen him come out of that final corner and not be able to stick the power down as well as Turbo has. So let's see what happens next time as we go to Ultimate Cars now, chasing down WMDL Martin. These pair just been together for a while now. No change in positions. Well, they'll be happy just to be up in the top 5 at the moment, keeping it clean, having a clean start to this race. A long race to go.
Yeah, I think Ultimate Kazi's had a better, slightly better pace in the wet than that Ferrari does right now. As he's right on the back bumper now of WMDL Martin. As Martin is just trying to be as careful as he can coming through that section. But Ultimate Kazi is surely going to have to make a move soon to make his presence known for the top 2.
Yeah, in the background there, Ticklish has dropped off a little bit from Ultimate Kazi, but he's still got a massive advantage over P6, so as long as he can keep that going, he's up for not today. So Ask Turbo now, not as close as he was last time, but a long straight to go, and he's still in that slipstream of Bojgrinder. Chasing down into turn 1. Going to happen this lap as both of them are sticking to the racing line here.
Yeah, just not close enough, but Bojgrinder just slightly drifting every corner in that big Aston, making it as wide as possible. But yeah, Turbo will have his work cut out for him to get past Bojgrinder again to take the lead. But Bojgrinder doing a fantastic job in the wet, hanging on. But yeah, the battle for P3, Martin will be looking in his mirrors, and Ultimate Kazi will be absolutely licking his chops at the potential to overtake Martin right now. He seems to be taking a bit wider lane into there to carry the speed through. Martin is struggling for pace right now as Ultimate Kazi is closing the gap right down. You can see the gap visibly closing as they head down this big long flat out section into the heavy braking zone for the chicane. But still slightly too far back for Ultimate Kazi to do anything.
Yeah, it looks like Ultimate Kazi does have the pace advantage over Martin, but in these conditions it's very difficult to make an overtake. Seen a few already tonight, which has been great to see in these conditions, but it is really difficult to make anything stick when it's this bad in the rain.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have a look to see how the leaders are going now, but the gap is still pretty much as you were as the last lap, so I don't think Turbo is close enough to make anything happen unless Bojgrinder makes a mistake into the braking zone. But the I don't know, the talent that is Bojgrinder, I don't think he'll make a mistake.
Just as you say, they look like Bojgrinder was a bit wide in that corner. I'm not sure if there's contact there, but Turbo got very close to the rear end of Bojgrinder, but both making it through safely. And looking at the previous lap, there was only 1,000, so we actually jumped to Ultimate Kazi right on the tail of Martin. I thought a move was going to be done then as we switched, but Martin holding on to that P3 for now.
Yeah, it said on the leaderboard that Ultimate Kazi was actually just in P3 for the briefest of moments. But yeah, WMDL Martin managed to get the position back in the braking zone, so Ultimate Kazi knows where to get the job done now. Get the power down perfectly out of the last corner and get the move made up in the straight into turn 1. That's where he can see that the Ferrari is weakest, is in the final sector. But we'll jump back to Party, who's done a fantastic job. He's up to P7. I do believe he qualified down in like 13th or 14th.
Yeah, keeping it together well here in the rain, sticking on the back of Too Fast at the moment, with Crab behind him. We know Crab is currently sitting P7 in the championship, so we're quite happy to be ahead of him right now. Both him and Too Fast doing a fantastic job of keeping themselves up the order and in the top 10 as we go back to Ask Turbo now. That exits seems a little bit closer, but I'm not sure it's going to be close enough as they head down towards turn 1 again. That gap does look to be closing.
Oh, He's definitely close enough. He's right in the slipstream now as Bojgrinder realizes this and there's mirrors. He's going defensive as what he did about 3 laps ago. As Turbo again going to try around the outside, but Bose Grinder surely going to be able to hold it up in time to get the apex. Bose Grinder's gone slightly deep, and As Turbo's going to try for the cutback. They're almost side by side. They are side by side. As As Turbo's got now the racing line into turn 3. Bose Grinder, will he hang in there or will he slip in behind? They're side by side into turn 3, and now they're still side by side. This is like watching JJ and Paul a few laps back. Can As Turbo hang on to the lead here and keep Bose Grinder behind, or will Bose Grinder dive up the inside and take the move? It's not really much of a dive, to be fair. He's right there, he's got the lead back. This is fantastic stuff. Bose Grinder gets a bit of a wobble on. As Turbo gets the power down perfectly, and now is back side by side and has the inside for the long right hander that takes you down to the chicane. And surely As Turbo is going to get the moves made back for the lead. This is fantastic racing. And As Turbo retakes the lead on lap 10.
That's an amazing move there by As Turbo. Some great driving by both of these guys. Such a long time to spend having to be wary of your opponent being right next to you. Especially in these conditions, trying to make sure you don't make any contact with them as you go around. But fantastic back and forth, and As Turbo taking the lead back of this race from Bose Grinder. But both of them together with a 7-second lead over P3 now.
Yeah, and what can Bose Grinder do now? It seems that the slipstream favours the car behind, obviously, but you can't stay behind the entire race. You have to make the move when you get the chance, and then try to pull some sort of a gap to break the slipstream. But yeah, Bose Grinder, you can see the slipstream visibly closing the gap just down the street. But as As Turbo goes slightly wide, and Bose Grinder retakes the lead now, and this is absolute dramatic stuff we can see.
Yeah, a bit wider than slightly wide. He was off the track at one point there, and As Turbo giving up that lead, which he would not have wanted to do. So Bose Grinder back into the lead of this race, but back to Ultimate Cars A and P4, trying to get around WMDL Martin, still stuck behind him. As I said before, looks like Ultimate Cars A does have the pace, but he just can't get the move done anywhere.
Yeah, WMDL Martin is a very, very skilled driver when it comes to defending. He knows where he has to place the car. When he knows he's got the potential to still be on the podium come the checkered flag. But Ultimate Kaze again with a fantastic drive out of that corner there. He's going to be right behind Martin, but can he get the move made heading down into the heavy braking zone? I don't think so. As Martin again holds the car to the middle of the road, right on the braking. Ultimate Kaze tries to go around the outside. He's absolutely had enough of this. And Martin just hangs on to the lead, and you can see in the background there, Ticklish is absolutely loving this, because Ticklish is slowly catching these guys right now.
Yeah, I'm sure Ticklish will be just focusing on getting the clean laps in and letting these guys slow each other up. But Ultimate Cars a good attempt around the outside there into that heavy braking zone to try and get the inside of the second part of the chicane, but not quite getting his nose in enough to stop WMDL Martin from shutting that door. But we jump back to the
We're going to jump back
here.
Back to the lead. We're going to jump back to the lead as you can see the gap visibly closing again. This is fantastic stuff. Oh, and I thought Laguna was amazing last week. As Turbo trying to hang on around the outside as Bose Grinder gets a slowed up, and he's slightly having a bit of a wobble, and again As Turbo about the same thing as 2 laps ago. As Turbo back on the racing line and going to try and hang in there for turn 3. But Bose Grinder will take the apex, and As Turbo thinks better of it this lap and stops back in behind.
Yeah, not quite getting the drive out of turn 1 that he needed to put the pressure on into turn 3 there, the kink. Having to tuck behind for this long right-hander, but Bose Grinder thinking it's interesting to see how defensive people go into that kink after the long right-hander there. Turn 6 hairpin, I believe that is. Seen it with Martin as well, taking the middle of the road and the car behind taking it right up to the curbing, but doesn't seem to have helped As Turbo there that lap.
And look at this absolute train for a battle right now.
I believe it's Deofile,
Yeah, we got
followed by
GC Raider, we got
JJ.
Deofile, we got JJ and Paul. And we got Deepak Raj in the background as well, just 1.9 seconds off into the distance. But yeah, it's a huge battle right now. As Grinder must have made a mistake because he's now 4 seconds behind Ass Turbo. Just as we move away, and now Ass Turbo is clear of Grinder. Almost just 5 seconds. So Ass Turbo, this is just what he would have wanted now. Some clear air, nobody behind him, and Grinder has lost the slipstream. So we will see now just who is fastest on when it comes to raw pace, because neither of these guys have the slipstream to help them do faster lap times. But it's actually surprising that when they were battling, they were still the 2 fastest guys on the track.
Yeah, these guys really pushing each other hard to stay ahead, but it'll be interesting to see, as you say, Grinder making a mistake and see if he can actually pull back that 5-second deficit he now put himself into. Crab at the moment,
and I believe
7.
I believe that Ultimate Kazi as well as must have made a mistake last lap, as you can see Ticklish Picklewickle has jumped up to 4th.
Yeah, that is very, very true. We do have a few errors coming in now, whether tyres are starting to go this early on in these conditions, but a couple of drivers maybe just pushing a little bit too hard, getting a bit too confident in these conditions and making their errors.
Yeah, as you can see, the 2 Ferraris battling out tooth and nail for the right to be P6, as currently Crab has taken it from Party. As there's a bit of contact there, Party rear ends the back bumper of Crab, but
yeah, looks like Party was worse off. Crab managing to just survive that. Party just went to the inside, it looked like, onto the grass, but he's still going. It didn't look like he hit any barriers, but he did lose himself a big chunk of time and possibly some front end damage. Unfortunate collision there, but it has allowed Lord I don't know to be right on the tail now of Crab and be next in line to try and fight for that P6 position.
Yeah, Lord I don't know, been just decently doing some decent laps, plodding along all the race in the wet. It seems the Ford isn't ideally suited car for this weather conditions, but yeah, he seems to be doing quite all right there, sitting in P7.
Yeah, he's doing a great job, and I'm sure he'll be quite happy with the position he's in now. He's only managed 9th as his best result this season, so 2 positions higher than his best result is good going, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely.
A quick look at that delta for P2. It's now down to 4 seconds, so I believe Grinder may be the faster of those 2 guys for the lead. So we'll give it another 10 laps or so, and Grinder might be back on the tail of Ass Turbo, as Lord I don't know has a cheeky little look on the inside of Crab, but tucks back in before the corner.
Yeah, but Ass Turbo's last lap was a 45.8. That was a ridiculously fast lap. Now that he's not battling Grinder, maybe he finally can just keep his head down and get the flying laps in. But that's an insane lap, a 45.8 in the wet.
Yeah, that's the fastest we've seen tonight.
We'll jump to P13. A hotly contested battle as Paul and JJ back at it again. They definitely entertained us for a couple of laps ago, and now they're right back at it again. Paul, who actually made it up the grid a few spots, but then he must have made a mistake. Now he's back down, and he's made him another mistake, and now JJ's gone through. And Deepak Raj is right there as well, and the Ford. Can he hunt down Paul?
Little errors there before. Looks like JJ's dropped back as well, because I believe those 4 were together battling at one stage, but spreading out a little now as it looks like, yes, there's Paul getting very, very squirrely through the chicane. I just saw his car get a bit sideways as it cut off our camera, but Paul not really been able to hold it together right now. He's had a few moments in quick succession, just dropping down the order. That's 2 places he's lost in 1 lap due to driving errors, so let's hope that he can compose himself and get his head down for some lap together to try and not lose another position here to Deofal just behind him in that BMW.
Yeah, Deofal in that big BMW will be loving to see that Paul is slightly struggling, But we'll see just how strong the slipstream is now when there's a 3-car train of Deepak Raj, Pole and Dairfile. As Pole gets slightly, he had a bit of a drift on there, but he just managed to hang on. As that was Deepak Raj in the background there, went off at turn 1, but managed to hold it together.
Yes, it looks like the errors are coming in for these drivers now. Everyone making these tiny little mistakes, but it's going to come down to who can mitigate those mistakes. And you see Lord I don't know just taking advantage of Crab's error there through the chicane and just jumping that position. So again, these errors, just tiny little ones, just being costly for everyone around the field right now.
Yeah, definitely, but just to bring some of the attention back to the leaders, Boys Grinder must have just made a mistake because the gap has dropped to 7.5 seconds. That's Turbo again, but just as I started that conversation, that sentence, he was catching him by, and the gap was 3.2. So that's a bit unfortunate. Yeah, he's lost almost 5 seconds in the first sector. Yeah, WMDR Martin has caught right back up to him.
Not sure what's just happened with Boys Grinder there. It looks like he just pulled off the road.
He's in the wall.
He has pulled off the road. He's in the wall.
Boys Grinder is in the wall. He's made a mistake.
That didn't look like a mistake, but more like he was pulling off and then ended up in the wall. That looked really weird then. Hopefully he's okay to continue here. Whether that was either...
Oh, he's really struggling to get it back on the road here. He's panicking, he's trying to get back on the road. He's sitting now P5, he's about 32 seconds behind the leader. The car is heavily damaged at the front. But surely he's going to have to do some sort of a strategic pit stop to try and get the points back. But that's a big shock right there, to have one of the big hitters in the wall. But yeah, this is what Ticklish has been hoping for. Well, maybe not hoping for, but this is just what he would love to see. But to be fair to Ticklish, his last lap was faster than WMDR Martin's.
Yeah, Ticklish putting in some great times at the moment, but as you say, we've just had WMDR Martin promoted to P2. Ticklish now on the podium as it stands with a 15-second advantage over Ultimate Kaze behind him, so just needs to keep it together for the rest of this race and keep putting in these consistent laps, and he's up for a great result here, Ticklish Pickerwickle. Just as I say it, he spins on turn 1. The commentator's curse has landed on our coordinator here, but he doesn't lose too much time to that spin, only a couple of seconds there, but again, everyone just making these little mistakes. It's all going to cost them at the end of this race.
It does seem to happen, like whoever we're commentating on it, it's like they get the camera shy and they just like shove it straight in the wall, or they spin or something. And there is the move that I just called, that Boys Grinder is making a strategic pit stop and is coming into the pits.
Yeah, maybe hopefully for his sake, it may be a 2-stop race anyway with the fuel loads, but we'll have to wait and see later on. Whether people decide to stick out the wets in one stint and then make another stop during the dries to just burn through some tyres. But that's Bo's going to drop to the back of the order now during his pit stop.
Yeah, he's down in 16th. He's got a lot of work to make up if he's going to be back on the podium. But yeah, Crab currently second P6, and he is battling with Lord I don't know and Party for 5th right now. The three there's a bit of a gap between them, but I can see that coming super close to each other really quite soon. But we'll jump down to Deepak Raj down in 15th, sorry, who was trying his best to catch 14th Dairfile, who was Ticklish's teammate. So Ticklish definitely slightly outshining Dairfile right now, but the BMW drivers are definitely more suited to the rain. But yeah, Deepak Raj currently trying to hunt him down.
Yeah, it's surprising to see JJ so far down when Ticklish is making it work at the moment. Be interesting to see whether it's just due to JJ not enjoying these wet conditions, but or Ticklish is just putting on a fantastic performance and outperforming the car, but still great to see Ticklish up there.
Yeah, it's great.
Backrush coming around the final corner now as Crab is looking on the inside there of Party actually trying to make the move on Crab, I believe, and they are now side by side coming out of turn 1 as they head through turn 2, and Crab's going to have the inside line now for turn 3, and they are neck and neck going into turn 3 here.
These two had previous a couple of laps ago. These two drivers had previous a couple of laps ago, but it seems to be a lot cleaner this time. And Party is up to P6.
Yeah, he made that move stick. It was a great move there, taking advantage of Crab's little error in turn 1. I think he went a bit wide on the exit and allowed Party to be right up next to him going through the next sector. The Party now will have his head down and be looking forward to Lord I don't know just up the road.
And we currently have Neil Lap in P9 trying to hunt down P8, his Baruda teammate. Well, not teammate, but a good friend. But yeah, it's Ford versus Ferrari. Where have you heard that before? Maybe not in Japan, but definitely Neil Lap will be loving the sight of us seeing his friend ahead of him, and he will be doing his best to catch him.
Yeah, these guys always a joy to race against and with, and they're the fairest drivers you can come across. And looks like it's a bit wide there for Too Fast coming out that corner. Might have allowed Lord Needlelap to get a little bit closer as they head to the final corner and down the main straight. Definitely within slipstream range there, and that delta is coming down very slightly as they head towards turn 1. Down to 3/10 now.
Yeah, Too Fast is staying on the racing line. Will Needle Lap take the inside? He ducks out of the slipstream. He believes he's fast enough to take up the to take P8 into the braking zone of turn 1. He goes a bit deep. Can Too Fast take the position back? He does take the position back, but Too Fast carries Lord Needle Lap carries the speed around turn 1, and they are now side by side heading into turn 3. And Needle Lap takes P8.
Yeah, another great move into turn 1 there. It seems like that's the place to be making your moves tonight. Getting advantage of that slipstream all the way down this long start-finish straight. As you see the 10 times time progression coming into effect now as we enter the nighttime stages. There's someone just off there. I believe that's either Captain or Crom was just off on the inside. It's Captain, one of the Spectra Racing team drivers. He just returned to pits there, and he's retiring that car from the race. Too much damage to get back, and decided to call it a day there. See someone going very wide there, and that.
Yeah, I think that was JJ. JJ's pushing because he knows he can grab Too Fast as well. But the thing is, he's got GC Raider right behind him, and these two are slowly but surely catching up to Too Fast. We'll stick with JJ, as we're not sure if Too Fast has a bit of damage because he seemed to be quite slow this last lap, but he's definitely dropped pace since Needlelap got past him. And JJ is right in the slipstream, and surely it's going to be absolutely deja vu, or will Too Fast learn from his mistakes from his friend that got him in last lap into turn 1. JJ, although it's the same car, he's got a hell of a lot more speed as they head down now the drag strip down into turn 1. He goes into turn 1. He thinks better of it actually. He brakes a bit earlier and runs a bit wider, and yeah, falls back in behind Too Fast.
Surprised Too Fast didn't even try and defend there. He just had the confidence that JJ didn't have the pace to make a move there. Holds it on the outside, so Too Fast holding on to that P9 for now. The GC Raider is just waiting in the wings there behind both of them, trying to take advantage of any little errors they keep on making.
Yeah, but just to keep note of the leaders, when Bosegrinder pitted, WMDR Martin was 10 seconds behind at Turbo, and now the gap is down to 6 seconds, so WMDO Martin is slowly closing the gap to AS Turbo in these conditions. I guess he's finally got a grip of the the Ferrari, and is making his way towards the leader. As AS Turbo last lap was a 51.6 and WMDO Martin's was a 46.1.
Yeah, so mistake there by AS Turbo, dropped him a good 5 seconds to Martin, which is that gap that you said, from 10 to 5 now.
Yeah.
But back to the action on track here.
And
We got a very, very close race,
JJ.
nearly going 3 wide there. JJ round the outside as Too Fast dives out of it a little bit. Holding that inside line though. See who gets the better exit here. You'd expect it to be JJ, and GC Raider also going to get a blinder of an exit.
JJ going super defensive already, but I think Too Fast is the one to be worried of being overtaken, because GC Raider is right there behind him. And Too Fast now thinking of something of it. He's going to try and get past JJ as they're all weaving all over the road. And GC Raider has a lock up the inside of Too Fast. But he doesn't get the moves to stick. And Too Fast is slightly wide on the exit. And GC Raider does get past Too Fast as they head up to turn 3 now. And it's as tight as you like for the top for fighting for P9.
Yeah, great racing by these guys. Unfortunate for Too Fast making the error in turn 1 there to allow GC Raider through, but so it happens when you're battling this hard with the other drivers, is the mistakes start coming through. To go back to Guegua now in P13, looking to make a move on pole just ahead.
Yeah, and you got Darefell in the BMW right behind as well. The three of these, it seems the battle for P9 has been quite hotly contested. We can see Guegwin making Pole look on his Mars, but Pole thinks better of it. Pole has actually gone quite deep because of that air, and Guegwin's absolutely played Pole like a fiddle. He faked the move into the braking zone. Pole missed his braking because he was looking at his Mars, and Guegwin just stays on the racing line and picks up the position.
A great move by Guegwin to force the error out of pole there, and also allows Deofal through in the BMW at the same time in that same corner. So Pole missing out on 2 positions from going deep into that hairpin. See if he can gain any advantage back down this straight. Now he's got the slipstream behind this BMW. And yeah, welcome to anyone who's just joined us. We are currently lap 22 of 59 in a very, very wet Fuji here. Some great racing we've had so far, and we're looking to dry up in probably about 7-8 more laps. The rain should be ceasing. But back to the action on track. We've got Deofal going wider on the outside of Pole here. I think Pole's got that position back he has as Deofal goes off track, comes back on in P14.
But a little nugget of information, Ticklish Picklewickle has just set the fastest first sector of anyone.
That's very impressive to see. He's making that BMW work in this wet conditions. See if we can keep it up for the rest of this lap, and maybe starts closing that gap down to WMDL Martin. It is just over 15 seconds that he needs to pull, but anything's possible, especially in the wet weather.
And these cars are battling ridiculously hard right now. As we can see JJ, GC Raider and Needlelap all battling it out for the one bit of tarmac. We'll stick with JJ because he's in the middle of the pack right now, but Needlelap is struggling in that Ford. JJ, can he get past? He's going to have a look up the inside, but surely it's better to hang around the outside and have the better exit as they're all drifting. The grip is starting to leave these tyres. The pit window will surely, no, not the pit window, but surely the window for tyre change is going to open pretty soon. But yeah, Needlelap getting the position back on the straight. And JJ, and they're going to make 3 wide. Are they going to make a 3 wide to Raider in the middle?
They have made it 3 wide, but who's going to come out on top? JJ comes out on top. I think GC Raider's going to come out best there, and Needlelap is still going to fight back though as they go through turn 2 and head towards turn 3. Needlelap's got the inside line on Raider. Raider's going to lift quite a bit to stick it around the outside of there, and he does. And a I would say allowed Needlab through, but I think Needlab just messed up and went very wide coming on the exit, and GC Raider just says thank you very much and takes that position.
Yeah, and all of Needlab's hard work that got him up to P8 has been undone in a matter of 2 corners. But that was fantastic to see that there was no contact, and it was just all into the 3 wide into turn 1. Fantastic stuff. But yeah, surely it's not over, as Needlab does go quite deep into the chicane, and now his good old friend that he passed a couple of laps ago is right on his back bumper.
Yeah, back to a Bedora battle. We have Needlab and Too Fast fighting for the as GC Raider has spun and allows Needlab back through and Too Fast, and he's gonna have to wait for Gwegwin to go through too before he can rejoin safely there. Unfortunate spin by GC Raider has lost him a few positions back down to P12 now. He was up into P9, but luckily no damage done, so he should be able to continue quite alright until the pit window. But I'm looking now, I can't actually see any rain anymore. I think the rain has actually stopped, so we're just waiting for this track to dry out enough to see who's going to be first to jump into the pits for the dry tyres. The track's still looking pretty wet from what I can see.
Yeah, I can see some spray coming off the cars, but it's definitely not raining anymore.
Yeah, GC Raiders actually decided to go to the pits, whether that was due to that spin he had, and he just flat spotted the tyres and he's just risking it now. The GC Raider has dropped into the pits from P13.
I do believe that Darephile, who's now currently in 17th position, has put it as well. But we'll just have to keep these guys posted, because they were all battling with Too Fast, Needlab, JJ, Gwegwin. They were all battling it out, and Ultimate Kaze as well. So we'll see when they come out of the pits where everybody is, because let's not forget these guys have to take fuel as well, and sometimes if the fuel window and the pit window, it might not line up for every car.
Yeah, with the default setups, we're not entirely sure what fuel these cars have been given, whether they've just been sent out on a full tank or whether they're expected to half and half it, and in which case they may have to pit earlier than they want to get fuel and maybe force onto the dry tyres a few laps too early, but we'll have to wait and see. It seems like they should be able to hang it out there for long enough. Nobody's had to pit for fuel yet, it seems.
Yeah, and Ass Turbo was the first man to get into the 144s with the 44 flat. Definitely shows that the track is getting extremely dry and the times are starting to fall. But yeah, the gap between P1 and P2 between Ass Turbo and WMDR Martin has gone back to 10 seconds. I do believe WMDR Martin made a mistake last lap, but we'll try and stick with the action of the battle, which is Too Fast, Needlab, JJ, Gwegwin.
Yeah, the track seems to be getting a lot faster now. Everyone seems to be dropping into the 45, 46s, whereas previously they were doing 47s, 48s. So track's definitely getting faster and drying out. See, Deepak Raj has entered the pit lane. He's decided that it's time for the slicks.
Yeah, you can see that Too Fast his current lap is half a second faster in the first sector alone, and he's all over the back bumper of Needlab. Will he make a move, or can he get the power down? As Needlab seemed to be slightly struggling with that Ford. We're not sure if he's carrying damage, but he's definitely been closed down by Too Fast. Heavy braking into the chicane again, but the Ford is slightly too far behind. But they've all gone slightly deep, and now Gwegwin has made it past Too Fast, just like that there. And he can even make it past Needlab up the inside. What a fantastic move! They're side by side. Needlab just hanging on. He's got the second last corner. Needlab must be absolutely sweating bullets right now as Gwegwin bearing down on him as they head into the final corner.
Needlab going very defensive, holding that inside line, but that's not going to be good for his exit. He seems to...
As he cuts across him, that was crazy.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether Needlab wanted to get to the inside. It looks like he's going to head down the pit lane, which is why he wanted to get to that side of the track. Lord I don't know has also entered the pits, and yeah, Needlab just wanted to get to that side just to get to the pit lane. It looked a bit dangerous, but luckily no incidents from that.
we'll have to keep an eye on the on where Needle Lab comes out in comparison to Dareophile and GC Raider, because these is where the guys were all battling beforehand. But yeah, the Ticklish Picklewickle just did a 44.8 and Ultimate Kazi a 45.2. So Ticklish Picklewickle, as the race leader, comes into the pits for his pit stop, and this is where WMJ Martin will be thinking, right, what's the plan here, guys? What's the strategy?
Yeah, it's hard to know without being out on the track to see what the cars are doing. They are getting faster and faster. It seems like it is worth a pit, and WMJ Martin does just follow AOR Turbo into the pit on the same lap, it seems.
And the big BMW will be leading the race as everybody is in the pits. Ticklish takes the current lead of the race.
It's good to see him out in front for a lap, even if he does decide to come in next lap. It does look like the track is really drying out now. You can't see any spray coming off these cars, so imagine that Ticklish will be entering the pit lane soon too.
If you look at GC Raider is currently on slicks, and his last lap was a 142.8, and Ticklish is still on the wets with a 44.7. So surely it's definitely time to be on the slicks if you want to be setting decent lap times. It's nice to lead a lap and all, but it's better to be setting faster lap times than just to have your name with a 1 or 2 beside it for laps led.
Yeah, so you also see Gwegwin also getting into the 44, so the slick tyres definitely working for the guys that pitted earlier. 142.8 by GC Raider. Track definitely speeding up here. The WMJ Martin seems to be taking quite a fair bit of time in the pits.
Yeah, just as you say that, he's out of the pits now. But how far up the road is AOR Turbo? We'll have to wait till he crosses the first sector, the first timing point for the end sector 1. We'll stay with him as he comes around, just to see what the gap is.
I believe it's 10 seconds when they came into the pits, so we'll see if anything's been lost or gained.
You can see him weaving like crazy, trying to get some temperature into the tyres. It must be super cold right now. But yeah, he's only 9 seconds behind, so the gap hasn't really. I mean, he saved about a half a second, but you can still see there is spray on the road. It's still a wet track, so maybe this will take a bit of time to get the lap times out of it. But as you look at Ticklish Picklewickle. He's managed to stay out, and he's just gone slightly faster with a 43.8.
He has, but you got to think if these guys further down the field are setting these 42s, then Ticklish should be able to get into the 41s or so if he pitted, but deciding to stay out, deciding to play the long game, and we'll have to see if it pays off as Ultimate Kazi has entered the pit lane from P2. Probably going to come out behind WMJ Martin or even Brosfriends on track, as Crab also entering the pits now, so seems the window is 100% open for people to come in and get those slick tyres now. The party also joining them.
And Too Fast has come into the pits as well. I think Ticklish is one of the only men out on track who has not pitted. Yeah, Gwegwin comes into the pits as well. So, a Bull Grinder, he pitted super early, as now, yeah, he's going to do a 2-stopper as he does his best to get it stopped in time, just at the line. That was very brave.
That was a fast pit entry he took there.
Yeah. But yeah, it's unfortunate for Bush Grinder, as he will be on a 2-stopper, as he had to repair the damage from his crash. But yeah, so Ultimate Kazi out of the pits, sitting P4, WMJ Martin P3, and AOR Turbo sitting P2. But Ticklish Picklewickle, our current race leader, does still have yet to pit. AOR Turbo, his last lap was a 54.7, and WMJ Martin was a 54.3.
I believe that included their pit exit, which loses them about 10 seconds of time, because I think you cross the start-finish line on your exit as opposed to entry, so that'll be the 10 seconds from their pit stops. We'll have to see how they get on now.
You can see
Martin
that
1 second up on his lap time already.
1.1 up. So we'll jump back to Too Fast and Guegwin and Paul and Needlelap to see what is the gap between them. Guegwin 1.7 up, so yeah, Guegwin was the slight winner in that there, but not by much to be fair, because now Paul was right behind Too Fast, and Needlelap was actually the biggest winner out of them all, because he's jumped them all.
Yeah, I believe Needlelap was the... He came in a lap earlier than the other people did to get on those slick tyres, so he managed to make the undercut work, even if it's just by a lap. Deafal, our first victim to the track limit penalties there. He's picked himself up a 2-second penalty, so track limits seem to be very lenient in the wet, but as soon as it starts drying out, that's when you may see these little plings come up, the little red mark next to their names to say that they've cut the course and they've got a slight time penalty as Guegwin is making a move on
Needlelap's made a mistake. Needlelap has made a mistake and Guegwin jumps up to P10 as he undoes the time that he's lost in the pit stop, as Ticklish Picklewickle now comes into the pits. But will he lose that P4 to sorry, that P3 to Ultimate Kazi, or will he come out in P3?
To be fair, he was matching the times of As Turbo and WNDL Martin after they'd been out on their slick tyres for a lap, but WNDL Martin now doing a 42.3, so that pace definitely improving. Our deltas are all a bit messed up now while our leader's in the pits. Doesn't seem like Project Cars 2 likes that too much, but on track now we have Too Fast and Pole, I believe it is, going into turn 1, and Needlelap too.
It's the three Baruda boys going at it into turn 1, and Too Fast is the man that comes out on top. Too Fast, Pole, and Needlelap losing 2 positions there into turn 1. I think he went slightly deep into turn 1 and lost out to his two friends. But yeah, this is Ford versus the 2 Ferraris. There is no team orders, but that's just fantastic to see. But I kind of want to keep an eye on Ticklish to see. He's currently on his pit exit, and where is Ultimate Kazi? Ultimate Kazi's just come out of the final corner, will be up to speed. But Ticklish Picklewickle was currently taking the first corner and retakes P3, and if anything has increased the gap to Ultimate Kazi by a huge way.
Yeah, he's going to have to take a couple of laps to get those tyres up to temperature, as we saw the other drivers do. We see our lead pair now into the 41s after a couple of laps on those slicks. So, but I think Ticklish has a comfortable enough lead to not lose that to Ultimate Kazi, even having to warm his tyres up for a few laps.
Ultimate Kazi with a 138.4, and he was faster in his last lap. It was a 138.2.
Yes,
I believe.
Incredible times coming in now. Yeah, GC Raider with a 38.4. That's coming from someone in P6, so still all to play for here. We got our leaders just doing 41s and mid-pack doing 38.
And who's that in the pits? That is Party. He seems to be pitting extremely late if he is pitting, and there does seem to be a car in the background pitting as well. We're not sure who that is.
It's come in again.
Needlelap pitting again.
Not sure why Needlelap's coming again, whether there's an issue with his previous pit stop, which has caused him to lose the pace as well, but Needlelap unfortunately having to take the second stop here.
But yeah, look at GC Raider, he's flying with these slicks on, and he's caught up to P5 already. He's currently up by not even a full 10th, but he's still up on his fastest lap, and is catching the Ford of Lord I don't know in P5. GC Raider on for a fantastic finish, if he can just hang on.
Yeah, we're just over halfway through this race. We've still got a long way to go here, and GC Raider, I don't mean to put anything into his eyes, but he's only 20 seconds off a podium, and the pace he's showing now, that 20 seconds over the next just under 30 laps is definitely doable with the way he's going.
100%, it definitely is possible. But I'm pretty sure Lord I don't know, Ultimate Kazi and Ticklish Picklewickle will not be wanting, definitely Ticklish Picklewickle will not be wanting to give up this potential podium. But that's really sad to see Needlelap down 16th there coming out of the pits, but not sure what happened in his pit stop, but he was definitely on for a possible top 10. But we can also see that Crab has also got a time penalty of 1 second, This is always the thing that happens. People put on slicks and they go super fast and they slightly push the limits, and it costs them with time penalties. But yeah.
Yeah, as we see, as also GC Raider joins them with the penalties, but definitely right on the tail now of Lord I don't know. Both of them setting really impressive lap times, both in the 38s here.
And WMDR Martin is only now getting onto the 40-minute mark with a 1:39.7. But still not doing much to close the gap to As Turbo. As Turbo's just hanging on with that 10-second lead.
Yeah, Ticklish Picklewickle, 1:37.7. So he's certainly showing his stuff now that it's dried out. That's a really impressive time.
That's the fastest car on track right now. He's the fastest man on track.
Yes, indeed.
He was fastest
looking at that thinking,
as the track started to dry, and
7 seconds down on Martin.
GC Raider, just have a look. GC Raider surely will be having a look to get past Lord I don't know in a couple of corners, because he's absolutely closed the gap and he's all over him. He's drifting the long right-hander just to get the car to rotate to get a better exit. Will he dive up the inside? He thinks better of it. Lord I don't know grabs the apex. GC Raider gets a decent exit. Sorry. Decides to take the shorter line around the long right-hander, but still slightly too far behind in the braking zone. But it does seem that the Ford has slightly come back into play, and with the drier conditions.
Yeah, I have to agree. The Fords seem to be picking up. I think they're the generally the fastest GTE cars, not by a huge margin obviously, but in the dry conditions the Fords tend to have the advantage over the rest of the field. But let's see if Lord I don't know can capitalise on that and stay ahead of GC Raider.
But I'm just going to have to contradict you, contradict the two of us by saying that look at Ticklish Picklewickle's last lap. He's the fastest man on track for the last 3 laps, running a 37.1. He is closing WMDR Martin by almost 2 seconds a lap.
Some incredible pace by Ticklish right now. We'll see if he can keep that up for the next 25 laps or so. It's a long time to keep it going if the tyres are starting to go towards the later stages, but GC Raider having a better exit out of turn 1. He's going to have to go around the outside into turn 3, but has he got the move done before? No, he hasn't. They're still side by side going through turn 3. He's going to have the inside of the long right-hander of 100R, and I believe he's got that move done now. He has got that move done, so a great move by GC Raider. Again, turn 1 is where it all starts, and then sometime after, someone comes out on top. This time GC Raider making the move done. Let's see if he can pull away now from Lord I don't know. He's been stuck behind him for a few laps, so it looked like he was a little bit quicker in sections, so we'll see now if he can pull away and create a gap and get rid of some of that pressure from behind.
Yeah, and the new fastest man on track is Boys Grinder with a 36.3. He's currently sitting in P12, but he is up to make it back into the top 10. But definitely Ticklish Picklewickle is in the mood to get P2 from WMDR Martin.
And he joins Bows Grinder in the 36s with a 36.5 of his own. So yeah, Ticklish putting in an impressive performance in this second stint now. Just 3 seconds to go until he's, in fact you can see it just there as Martin goes through turn 3 just ahead. Ticklish has been hunting him down for the past few laps, just putting in huge amounts of time into it. It's only going to be another couple of laps before he's on it. He's going to have a battle on our hands for P2.
He's absolutely loving it. He's chucking it at BMW around like it's a drift day. He's catching the Ferrari hand over fist. 3 seconds a lap faster than his last lap. This is going to be a huge upset. Martin will not want to see Ticklish Picklewickle in his rearview mirror. As Ticklish, he's absolutely loving this right now.
He is indeed. He is just, you can see that delta. Sorry, just looking at the delta coming down, and it's just coming down at an insane rate for this BMW. At this rate as well, he's going to put that 11 seconds into Asturbo, because Asturbo, I don't think he's really broke into the 37s too much, with the 38.5 on his last lap. So Ticklish is poised to be the winner of this race if he can keep this up and keep this performance going.
Yeah, definitely. Let's just hope he's not taking too much out of the tyres, but yeah, another 2/10 faster than his previous best. So every lap is a faster lap than the last. Ticklish is hunting down the top two, and the top two are no mean feats. Like, this is going to be an extraordinary end to the race. We still have 23 laps remaining, so that's all to play for. And there it is. We are currently about a second between them, so Ticklish will even be going even faster because he's going to be in the slipstream of the BMW Martin right now. But that BMW is an absolute beast, it seems, around here. And yeah, he's absolutely loving it.
It is indeed. Just remember that Asturbo is our current championship leader, who's had a second, first, and then W&L Martin's had a third, second. And meanwhile, we have Ticklish Pickerwickle closing them down at nearly 2 seconds a lap or more. He's managed a 6th, a 4th, a 12th and an 8th. So this is a really impressive running by Ticklish Pickerwickle. He's absolutely hounding that BMW around, and he's going to be right on the tail of W&L Martin going on to the main straight, I feel. And I don't think he's going to be able to get a move into turn 1 this lap, but he's definitely going to have his presence known for the next lap. Yeah,
definitely. Let's just hope the dirty air in the third sector doesn't upset the BMW too much, but we'll see what the times are now when Martin is realising that Ticklish is catching him. We'll see what their times are now when they come across the line. 30. Ticklish is still 4/10 faster than WMDR Martin right now. But yeah, it seems that a lot of people right now are getting time penalties. GC Raider, Dayerfile, Crab, Too Fast and Bose Grinder do all have time penalties. 2 seconds for GC Raider, another 2 seconds for Dayerfile, who's up to P7 with a fantastic recovery.
Yeah, we've missed that recovery up there. He seems to have got through a fair few people to get himself to P7, so great drive by Dayerfile. Clearly making that BMW work for him as well as it's going for Ticklish too. That gap now within a second for Ticklish to WMDR Martin, and he's managed to pull a good 3-4 seconds to Ultimate Kaze behind him, so Ticklish absolutely flying right now. I believe both these drivers also putting time into Asturbo in the lead, so with 22 laps or so to go, Asturbo is not set and dry, even though he's got an 8-second lead above these two. All not over yet for this the winner of this race.
Yeah, this is what I said at the start. It's pretty much a lottery when it comes to this race and who's going to end up winning it. But look at Bose Grinder down in P12 with a 1:35.7, the fastest man on the track. It's such a shame that he made that mistake and went off and had to do the pit twice. As JJ comes into the pits, we're not sure why, but he's sitting down in P13. And yeah, Ticklish slowly but surely, now that he's caught up to him, he's just slowly eking the gap. He's slowly coming closer to the WMDR Martin's rear bumper. And look at how close they are now to come around the long right-hander here at Fuji. Yeah, Ticklish last lap was 7/10 faster than Asturbo, so he definitely has the potential to win the race.
Yeah, both of these drivers now, P2 and 3, are faster than our current race leader, so they're all to play for us. Wonder how Ticklish is going to make this move done now. I haven't really had to see him make any overtaking manoeuvres this race too much, so and it's against WMDR Martin, who we know is a fantastic driver and knows how to defend, especially in that Ferrari, so we'll see how he gets on with it. Yeah, we've missed that recovery up there. He seems to have got through a fair few people to get himself to P7, so great drive by Dayerfile. Clearly making that BMW work for him as well. And
Yeah, definitely. Ticklish is normally what we've seen so far in this season. He just qualifies really well and then just pretty much stays where he is and has a pretty quiet race. But this race has been far from quiet for him so far. Well, it's definitely going to shake up now that he's hunting down P2. The gap is closing, but not by enough, I don't believe. I think Ticklish is going to have to clean up his final corner to get the move made into turn 1.
Yeah, he's still putting another 2 tenths in, so in the last 2 laps he's put 5 tenths into WD Martin. As you say, the gap's slowly getting closer. Just needs to bide his time to find out where to make the move. Martin not one to make an easy mistake, so definitely not going to make it easy for Ticklish to get around him. Gonna have to see how.
The nice thing about this is that they're not battling each other, you know, so they're actually still catching Ass Turbo. So we're looking for a nice spicy end to the race.
Yeah, but, Martin putting another 5 tenths into Ass Turbo that previous lap, so it's only going to be about 15 laps until they reach Ass Turbo, which will give us 5 laps remaining in the race for them to battle it out for that top position if they can keep this pace going. Keep on knocking out half a second into Ass Turbo a lap.
I wonder, has Ass Turbo done the math yet, and has he realised that he needs to go a bit quicker? I remember I used to do that when I used to do the GT3 League for season 16. I'd be like, I used to be like, right, I've got 10 laps left and the gap is whatever. I can lose this much of a gap to the fast guy behind me.
Yeah, as you see, Ass Turbo actually gets into the 36 with a 36.6, so he has picked up the pace here.
Yeah, he's realised
these guys for this lap. Still 2 tenths slower, but that's definitely gonna help stem the bleeding that he was having before for that lead position. So maybe just looking after the tyres, trying to make them last, knowing that it's a long stint for the tyres to go on. Just trying to look after them in the early stages and then be able to push towards the end.
Yeah, I think if Ass Turbo can keep that pace up, I think this is the battle that we'll be watching come the end of the race. But
and Ticklish makes a mistake coming out of the corner. He's gone wide and off the track. He's gonna have to rejoin. Doesn't lose too much time, but not what he wants to be doing when he's trying to battle for second place. He's gonna have to work again. It's gonna take him another few laps to gain that back, and you have to fight for that position again. So an unfortunate error and a very rare error there from Ticklish Picklewickle.
Yeah, that's super unfortunate. But if anyone can get it back, it's definitely this man. He seems to be flying here tonight.
Just wondering if he pushed a bit too hard in those early stages and the tyres are starting to go on him already. If it is, it's very early. It's only been about 10 laps on these tyres. But hopefully they're still working for him. He did of course pit a few laps later, so you'd hope that there's a bit more tyre life than the rest of the field. As we see Ass Turbo, you can see the distance there on the main straight, the gap between first, second and third through the headlights.
Yeah, but if you can see the time Ass Turbo just set was a 36.6, which is pretty consistent with the last lap that he did. So yeah, I think Ass Turbo has finally realised that he needs to push a bit harder. And at this time of the race, our WD Martin and Ticklish will end up catching him come the end of the race. But as Party again comes into the pits. Oh, he's facing the wrong way in the pits.
Not where you want to be, is it? Looks like he's returned to his pit box now, and he's going to be fortunately retiring from this race. I'm not sure what happened there, but he did end up backwards in the pit lane, which is not really where you want to be at all.
And yeah, so that that last lap Ticklish did was a 39.4, so he lost about 3 seconds overall to WD Martin. So that's unfortunate, but we'll see what he can do this lap. and we'll compare the laps that WMJ Martin does to Ticklish to see just how comparable they are, to see if the gap will close again. A 36.8, and what's Ticklish's time? A 36.7. So yes, Ticklish again 1/10 faster than WMJ Martin.
Yeah, it's just a minor gain. It's not really going to be enough to put Martin under pressure. He needs to be putting in those 35s again to be able to put any meaningful work into that gap.
Yeah.
He's got 2/10 on his time into sector 1, so I assume he's just burnt his tyres out pretty early on in this stint to catch up with WMJ Martin, and now needs to ease off to make them last, because may have also just been a bit shook from that incident, because it didn't look like he did anything wrong. The car just seemed to shoot off and give him a bunch of understeer off the track, so maybe just being a bit cautious with the car acting a bit unpredictable around that corner before.
Oh, and he spun again. Oh, he's gone round. He will get it back going again. But I think at this stage he's kind of starting to realise all this pushing early on in the stint has cost his tyres, and Ultimate Kazi will be seeing that gap close. Oh, Ticklish, you're having a nightmare now with those tyres.
Yeah, looks like you just got on the curb there, and the curb may still be a bit wet from our rainfall earlier, so getting a bit slippy on that corner, but Ticklish he's still got 13 seconds over Ultimate Kazi. See if he can just hold on to that now. He just needs to settle down. I think he needs to realise that WMJ Martin is not a really viable target anymore, given that there's a 12-second lead on him. He just needs to settle down into third and just make it to the end and keep hold of his best finish of the season.
It's still a trophy at the end of the days, and there's a huge amount of points up for him to get out of this here. It's definitely a fantastic show, and for me, if the race was to end right now, it would be getting driver of the day. But yeah, still a 10th down on his previous fastest. But we'll jump to Booge Grinder, who was on the hunt to get back into after his 2-stop strategy because of his early crash. But yeah, currently sitting P10 and is hunting down Guegwin for P9. Yeah, Booge Grinder currently setting quite fast lap times. Of 35.9 was his last lap. That's faster than anyone that's currently on the track. But he has been the fastest man for the last maybe 5 to 6 laps. If it wasn't Ticklish, it was
inside now, Guegwin, and I think Guegwin just gave that position up, knowing the pace of Booge Grinder. It's not his race to have, really. So Booge Grinder moved himself up to P9 now. His next target is about 6 seconds up the road to Crab.
Yeah. Crab, the teammate of WMJ Martin, but Crab definitely seems to be struggling tonight in the rain. Didn't do him any favours, but we'll have a look at GC Raider and Ultimate Kazi as they go side by side into the second last corner, and now Ultimate Kazi having a look up the inside. GC Raider will have the better exit because he's going to carry more speed, and Ultimate Kazi, this is probably a mistake, because now GC Raider will be in the slipstream, and no matter how much you weave down that straight, he will be right behind you.
Yeah, looks like Ultimate Kazi is now actually, he dropped about 9 seconds of Ticklish, so a huge mistake for Ultimate Kazi has cost him this position. 2 GC Raiders looking around the outside into turn 1. Ultimate Kazi keeping it controlled under braking, holds that inside line. Can GC Raider make a move? No, he cannot, as Ultimate Kazi stays in P4.
Yeah, Ultimate Kazi just made the mistake last lap, and GC Raider tried to do his best to make something of it, but it's not over yet. GC Raider was showing some fantastic lap times last race, but just as I say that, he's in the wall and he's facing the wrong way, and there's cars coming. There's Lord I don't know and Dayerfile, and GC Raider is back up to speed, but Dairfile will be right there, and surely GC Raider has damage from that, as Dairfile has a look to fake a move into the heavy braking zone of the chicane, and there's a contact. GC Raider has lost control again and spun across the road in front of Dairfile, and the BMW had nowhere to go as he smashes through the cones and loses a headlight. But yeah, huge contact there, and it just seemed that GC Raider has lost the other headlight and the tail light out of that there. Yeah, GC Raider has got a huge amount of damage from that there. But Lord, I don't know, the big winner out of all that there.
Yeah, that's a really unfortunate lap there for GC Raider. He did so well to bring himself up to contention for top 4 after the pit stops. He was battling down in the P8, 9 sort of spots, but looking to have to make a second pit stop here to repair that damage, which is
he almost kept the wall. He almost hit the wall on pit entry, but yeah, it has to repair. It's in the rules, if you have a broken headlight you have to get it fixed. But where is Dairfile? Dairfile manages to stay out and take the first corner. But yeah, it's a lot of drama unfolding. But yeah, Dairfile. So yeah, that's the BMWs, the teammates, P3 and P6 right now. And the BMWs are definitely strong. And surely Dairfile can catch up to Lord, I don't know. That is only 8 seconds, but there is a good chunk of laps left.
Yeah,
So
Dairfile's
the
got to
BMW
be carrying
can-
some amount of damage after the collision with GC Raider though. I was expecting him to pit more than GC Raider after looking at damage from my screen, but as we know, damage isn't always portrayed evenly in Project Cars 2, so we don't actually know how damaged Dairfile's car is.
This is true. It's a fantastic trait of Project Cars 2. But Lord, I don't know, who currently sitting P5, can't see Ultimate Kaze in his crosshairs, and will be chomping at the bit to try and catch Ultimate Kaze to get that P4. But Ultimate Kaze does have a time penalty, but just to check out how much it is, it's a 1 second time penalty. But I'm pretty sure Lord, I don't know, will be wanting to get that move made.
Yeah, Lord, I don't know, put himself in a great
track.
position this race to get into the top 4 if you can chase down Ultimate Kaze now. He is, that's a laps car behind him, I'm not sure, is that
Yeah,
a lap behind
that's
him, I
Needle Lap.
believe.
Yeah, that's Needle Lap behind
Down
him,
in
yeah.
P13. Needle Lap after, unfortunately, having to make 2 pit stops is just trying to claim whatever points he can now and just get to the end of this race. But Lord, I don't know, has different intentions in mind as he can taste Ultimate Kaze just ahead of him.
Yeah, especially as the Ultimate Kaze seemed to be struggling a few laps ago, and the gap has closed to well under a second. But can the Ford outweigh the benefits of the front-engined of Ultimate Kaze? But yeah.
Reached the 3/4 stage of this race, lap 46 of 59. We jump to Crab now, who's looking just behind Dairfile.
Yeah, Crab is a 0.8 of a second faster last lap than Dairfile, because I think, as we all have seen, Dairfile had a bit of damage from not Ultimate, but GC Raider crashing in front of him. But yeah, Crab doing some decent lap times now and currently looking for a P6 finish.
Yeah, Bojgrinder just behind as well, though. As you know, Bojgrinder's been marching through the field after having to take 2 pit stops, 1 for damage and the second to actually fuel up and get the tyre change in the weather conditions as it dried up. So Bojgrinder, just look at the times now, whether he's about 13 seconds away from a top 5 finish. So he needs to be putting a second a lap faster into Lord I don't know to be able to get into that top 5, and right now he's on track to do that. He just needs to clear a couple of cars here and he could definitely still get himself to the top 5. So if that's the case, it's an amazing recovery drive by Bojgrinder.
He could even get a top 4 because Ultimate Kaze's right there as well.
That is certainly true, yeah. Ultimate Kaze is
also a target he could be aiming for, but let's see if he can get himself around Crab first, one target at a time. He seems to get a better exit round that hairpin as we head down towards the next hairpin.
Yeah, Booze Grinder right in the slipstream, heading down to the heavy braking zone. He's going to have a look up the inside. Can Crab hang on? Crab decides to give him the space. Booze Grinder up the inside and gets the move made on Crab. That's Booze Grinder up to P7. And next up for Booze Grinder is Darephile in P6. A wounded Darephile and in the BMW. But yeah, Booze Grinder making his marching presence known in the midfield as he battles his way through to try and get his P5 back, or at least a top 5. But he might even get him done into P1, or sorry, turn 1 here, as the BMW seem to have a terrible exit out of the final corner. Booze Grinder right in the slipstream. The gap is closing. It's 0.3 of a second, and it's going to be 0.2 now. He's right in the slipstream. He pulls out. He's going to be heavy on the brakes. Going to go late. Darephile gives him a lot of space and respect. As Booze Grinder loses it almost on the brakes, but just gathers it together and gets the position. He's up to P6. Darephile down to P7. Booze Grinder. That's 2 positions in about 4 corners.
Yeah, great driving there by Booze fans. As I said before, it's definitely a top 5 on the cards now. He's got past these 2 cars in just a matter of a few corners, so looking to get down that. It's 8 seconds the gap to Lord Idaho with 11 laps remaining.
It is possible for this man to do it because he's got clean air in front of him now. So if he just got to get his head down and get the laps together, and then fight Lord Idaho for the last couple of laps and try and get that top 5. But yeah, you can see that As Turbo again slowly started to drop his pace back into the 37s, whereas WMDL Martin has kept it in the 36s, as well as Ticklish Picklewickle with a low 36.2. But yeah, I think Ticklish's his hunt for the top 2 has gone by the wayside, unfortunately. But he will be over the moon with a top 3, I'm sure. But yeah, I guess the race for the lead is not over.
It's not indeed. WMDL Martin definitely with a shot now in the closing stages of this race. We'll see how AS Turbo's done with his tyre management. He has seemed to have a few laps where he has been able to go a bit slower than the other cars, so he may just have the tyres as Booze Grinder again into turn 1, gets a bit wobbly. So we jump to Lord Idaho now in P5, battling with Ultimate Cars just ahead. It's a little bit up the road, 1.5 seconds at the moment, but see if we can close that down. It's been a fair few laps, he's just been sat about that distance behind, so pretty similarly paced between the 2 guys.
Yeah, we'll just have a look at the time penalties right now. Yeah, we've got Ultimate Kazi on 1 second, and we've got Booze Grinder on 10 seconds of a penalty. He must have had a huge cut somewhere in one of those laps, because that's a huge disappointment. That's gonna undo all of his overtaking, but we'll still watch it and be in awe. But then we've got Darephile with 2 seconds, Crab with 1, Wagwin with 2, and Too Fast with 4. And as well, we've got GC Raider with 4 seconds and JJ with 1.
Yeah, it's disappointing to see Booze Grinder with the 10 seconds of penalties. I guess that top 5 is a bit more off the cards now. Without having to do something special to get round and pull that sort of gap on Lord Idaho. But I'm sure he's just going to do the best he can to push as hard as he can as we go to WMDL Martin. Still within 5 seconds of AS Turbo. Delta fluctuating throughout the lap, so it's hard to tell how much time he's gaining. He did put 7 tenths into him in the last lap on the lap time, so it is coming down overall.
Yeah, but I think at AS Turbo, you can see that back marker of the Ferrari behind him. I think he did have a bit of traffic there. It did cost him a tiny bit of time on this lap, so we'll see how fast WMDL Martin can get past that Ferrari, but we're not sure if how fast AS Turbo is on this lap, but we'll keep an eye as he crosses the line, which will be in probably about 10 seconds, knowing about how long this start-finish straight is. But yeah, here it is. Yeah, 1:37.8. He did lose a bit of time there, but WMDR Martin was a 36.8, a full second faster than AS Turbo. Yeah, the gap down to 3.3 seconds, and WMDR Martin is in the mood to take this race lead come the end of the race.
Yeah, he's just putting in those consistent lap times now. AS Turbo, say, getting held up a little bit in that traffic, but hopefully WMDR Martin, if he can get around that back marker with a bit more haste, the win is still definitely on the cards. 8 laps remaining here now, and the gap down to 3 seconds. That's still all to play for. See, I don't know, still about a second behind Ultimate Cars, and Boj Grinder still trying to close that gap too behind. It's 5 seconds Boj Grinder is behind now. Ultimate Cars actually got up to 3 seconds, so the delta on the left not the same as the delta in the middle, so it's hard to predict what's going on when they're different.
Yeah. But yeah, you can see the visibly that the Ultimate Kazi taking turn 1 now, and Lord I don't know is only at the start of the braking zone, so yeah, it is about 3 seconds. But yes, fantastic to see that the Lord I don't know has got a fantastic outing tonight, trying to hold on to P5, and surely with the big time penalty the Boj Grinder has, he will be able to hold on to it. 8 laps remain.
Definitely think so. Just got to keep it together now as we go to Deofal, who is just tagging along with Boj Grinder, to be fair, just keeping up with him, not letting him go that easily.
I think Boj Grinder actually made a mistake that lap because he's fallen right back into the clutches of Deofal, and yeah, I think Boj Grinder must have went off because he's lost a lot of time to Lord I don't know. He's back down to 8 seconds, 8.5 seconds.
Yeah, that is a huge time loss there, so another rare mistake from Boj Grinder, but he is pushing so hard to try and pull any gap he can. Obviously he's going to lose 10 seconds. There you go, there's the delta 5.5, so you only assume that his mistake was about 5 seconds worth of time on track.
Yeah, you can tell just by how much that Aston Martin is dancing around, how much he's trying to push. But to bring the all seeing eyes back to the lead, WMDR Martin has closed the gap to 2.3 seconds. Sorry, 2.1. It's fluctuating a slightly bit. But yeah, AS Turbo struggling again on his last lap with a 38.3. So WMDR Martin over a second faster last lap. This is getting a bit spicy with only 8 laps remaining.
It is indeed, and Ticklish Pickwick managing to match WMDR Martin's time there, so he's still got the pace, but he's sitting a bit of no man's land, 15 seconds behind Martin and a good 30 odd seconds ahead of Ultimate Cars, but a fantastic finish if he can bring this home to a podium here tonight. Not much more he can do other than just cruise around for these 8 laps and stay out of trouble and not get collected by any back markers or anything else going on around him. Just needs to bring it home now.
Yeah, I think the only back marker in sight for a long while is this man Paul. But and I'm pretty sure Paul won't be getting in the way of Ticklish. He's a very good driver. But jumping back to P2, WMDR Martin now under 2 seconds of the gap to AS Turbo. It's currently 1.6. And he can visibly see that there's only a Ferrari between him and AS Turbo, and the back markers haven't been too fair or too nice to AS Turbo. This is causing him a lot of time, and that back marker has been really nice to WMDR Martin. It's just clearly got off the road. But yeah, still one Ferrari between the 2 leaders as WMDR Martin can finally see him and is on the hunt, and AS Turbo will be slowly having a bit of a sweat coming across his forehead.
Yeah, we've seen AS Turbo manage to put a few quick laps in during the midsection of this stint, but he's always been a little bit slower than Martin and Ticklish overall, so it's going to be very interesting now to see if Martin can close that gap down enough to start making a move into the final few laps and get a real battle on our hands for the winner of this race. It's still all to play for.
Yeah, and you can see that the Ferrari, the back marker that's in front of WMDR Martin, has given him a huge tow down the straight, so AS Turbo can't even get much of a gap down the straight. But yeah, WMDR Martin definitely not giving up this race. but he will be relevant in this, because last week at Laguna, when he had a fantastic move around the outside of Asturbo to take the race lead, it had me on my feet and clapping. If you want to go back and watch last week's stream, this man had a bit of a mistake and then ended up falling down and having a bit of recovery drive. Had to pit early to battle at the end for the spoils, but yeah, he can try and make up for his mistake last week by taking the fight again to Asturbo in the last couple of laps.
Yeah, Delta's still coming down by about another 4/10 that lap, so as very nicely gets out of the way there. I'm not sure who that was, but the back marker not holding up WMDR Martin at all, allowing him to continue this pursuit onto Asturbo. There he is, just 1 second ahead now. Hopefully going to be in slipstream distance come the main start finish straight here if WMDR Martin's lucky, and they'll be able to get the tow down to turn 1 and start putting some real pressure onto Asturbo. It's all coming together now in the final 5 laps of this race.
As it always does. It always seems to come down to the last couple of laps. But you can see there, as I got deep garage and sitting in P14, giving Asturbo a nice tow down the straight, so that Asturbo can somehow keep the gap to WMDR Martin. But I don't know, that Ford seems to be on fire right now, and he's almost, in fact, he's over a lap faster than Asturbo last lap.
Yeah, it's an insane delta to have. You got to be looking at that and being quite happy with yourself. You're putting a second into the lead of this race with only 5 laps to go here.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge finish. But as well, Ticklish Picklewickle, even though he was over 20 seconds down on the leaders, brought it back to 14 seconds. So if these two were to battle, and heavens forbid that something was to happen, Ticklish Picklewickle could even get his P2.
Could still happen. Anything can happen in the last laps of this race. Who knows what's going to happen unless you stay here for another 10 minutes or so to see it unfold, as the gap now is within a second easily between WMDR Martin and Asturbo. Asturbo seems a little bit wide on that corner, allowing WMDR Martin to close that gap down a little bit more every lap.
Yeah, WMDR Martin is just slowly reeling him in. He's like a fisherman. He's cast the line and he's just slowly eking him in, and there's Asturbo goes slightly drifting coming around the second to last corner. But yeah, that Ford still seems to be struggling. He just seems to can't carry the speed out of the last corner, but WMDR Martin, the gap is slowly coming down. But let's see what the lap times are as Asturbo goes to the line now. He still has deep wreck crash in front of him, giving him a bit of a tow. So Asturbo can kind of get that there to his advantage, but WMDR Martin was 3/10 faster last lap, and the gap is down to 0.6 of a second.
Yeah, I thought earlier in this race Asturbo was just looking after his tyres, but given the fact that WMDR Martin is still gaining at this point, I wouldn't want to be Asturbo allowing WMDR Martin to even get within a second of him, but I guess Asturbo is just struggling, and has just been leaking that time throughout this whole second stint to WMDR Martin. So Asturbo just now 3/10 separating the cars as they go through the hairpin onto the long straight down towards the next hairpin in the chicane.
Yeah, it looks as if the Spaniard is severely struggling now with the Ford, with 4 laps remaining. I have to take hats off to you, Kiki, as you did predict at the halfway mark there would be a battle for the lead with 5 laps remaining, and you were not wrong.
I'm basically replacing Amazon Web Services for my predictions. I'm here all week if you ever need me. But here we are with 5 laps remaining, half a second separating the lead pair here. And that's also the lead pair in the championships, just separated by 33 points overall. So very, very precious finish here to claim the lead. Try and close that down before the final round at Oschersleben next week. But gap still within a second. Asturbo just 6/10, seems to be holding it steady there, so getting the advantage of the tow from the back marker ahead, but eventually he's going to have to navigate through him. And
the deep wreck rise getting out of his way, so it's there's no traffic in front of Asturbo. You just have to do it all by yourself now. You can't get a tow from anyone. That's just WMDR Martin behind you, it's up to you. You've got 3 laps to defend. Can the Ford driver take a bit of a chunk out of the championship lead of AS Turbo and take this victory with 0.2 of a second behind them? Just basically nothing. WMD Martin takes a gap. There's a gap, and AS Turbo has dropped to P2. WMD Martin up into the lead, and AS Turbo and WMD Martin are still side by side. AS Turbo carry more speed as on the racing line. Can WMD Martin make the move? Neither of them can get it stopped in time, but they're side by side, so go through the chicane. And WMDR Martin is your new race leader.
Is indeed a great move there to just chuck it down the inside of that hairpin. As on a side note, Lord, I don't know, has entered the pit lane. Not sure what that's for, but WMDR Martin now leading this race. Only a few laps left to go to have to defend, but given his pace, I think he's going to be able to hold on against AS Turbo just with his raw speed here. It's whether the slipstream is worth enough to AS Turbo to be able to bring that back, as does seem to be gaining very rapidly. WMDR Martin still defensive down the start-finish straight, right up against the white line there, not allowing AS Turbo anything down the inside, forcing him the long way around. They come across the start-finish line. 2 laps remaining here, and it's neck and neck going into turn 1. WMDR Martin has the inside and holds on to it there. Claims the apex and takes the racing line. AS Turbo has to settle for second for now.
Yeah, that's a fantastic defensive move. We did say earlier in the race that WMDR Martin does know how to defend, and that is a perfect example of how to defend cleanly. And yeah, AS Turbo, what have you got on your tool set, AS Turbo? Come on, you gotta show some sort of an attack with 2 laps remaining. This is a lap and a half remaining now. This is the penultimate lap. What can AS Turbo do to try and retake the lead? He'll be desperate to get past WMDR Martin right now. As you can see him faking moves into the heavy braking zone of the chicane, but it ends up he just goes kind of deep, and WMDR Martin just takes the racing line through. You can't break this man's spirit. As we are in the final sector of coming into the final lap now. Just 1 lap remains, but WMDR Martin surely will have to defend coming into turn 1 here because AS Turbo will be in the slipstream. And you can see the Ford getting a fantastic exit out of the last corner. This is the tool set that AS Turbo has. He's going to be right in the slipstream as they come across the line. And can he make a move stick? WMDR Martin does the exact same thing as what he did last lap. This is a carbon copy of the last lap. WMDR Martin holds the inside. AS Turbo just tries to go around the outside. Can Martin get a stop? He takes the apex. They're still side by side. Martin just ahead. He's on the racing line, but AS Turbo kind of go around the inside. But Martin trying to hold the inside, and Martin just hanging around the outside of turn 3. But AS Turbo takes the lead back. But now WMDR Martin has got up the inside, but AS Turbo retakes the lead of the Fuji Grand Prix, and WMDR Martin has retaken the lead.
How did he find that line on the inside? There was a tiniest gap, just wide enough for his Ferrari, and he retakes the lead again. We have 2 changes of position now already on this final lap as they head down towards the hairpin into the chicane. WMDR Martin taking that inside line, forcing AS Turbo around the outside. AS Turbo tucking in, getting very close to his rear bumper there of WMDR Martin. WMDR Martin a bit slippery out of that corner, but he's still going to be able to defend through the next section. It's going to come down to that start-finish straight. Can AS Turbo get the toe enough on the start-finish straight? They were just 0.03 of a second apart over the start-finish line last time. So it's all going to come down to this slipstream. And what can AS Turbo? He's taking a very wide line there, getting the best run AS Turbo can out of that last corner. Martin having to defend, and I think AS Turbo is going to get the run down here. He's alongside a lot earlier than before.
He's come across the line. Oh, this is going to be the closest finish in AOR history, surely. Martin's going to be right behind. He's going to try and pull out to get this across the line, but he misses out. The race is over, and AS Turbo takes the victory, and well deserved, to be fair. What a fantastic win and a fantastic race. Very clean and very, very hard. But Martin will be absolutely gutted with that there, taking the lead 3 times with 2 laps remaining. but Ass Turbo just refused to lose. But that was fantastic stuff. Ticklish picking up P3. Ultimate Kazi coming around the last corner. And I am out of breath, Kiki. I don't know about you. I'm
That was
genuinely out
insane.
of breath right now.
You were doing all the talking, but I was holding my breath the entire time for that lap. As you see, Ultimate Kazi now coming to claim P4. But what a final lap it was between those two leaders of this race. You could not separate them at all, and it was just an incredible sprint to the finish. You saw Astor get the better exit, as you see Bojgrinder managing to get that P5 on the track, but he's going to have that 10-second penalty. Is that enough to stay in P5? It looks like it may actually be. Bojgrinder may be able to stick with P5 even with his penalty, which we did see Lord Ideno pit very late in this race, so maybe for fuel, just a splash and dash.
Yeah, Bojgrinder did hang on to P5. Guegwin picking up a fantastic P7, considering he started last on the grid. And then Crab getting P8. But, oh, what a finish.
What a finish that race
what,
it was. Could
that has
not
got to
ask
be
for any more.
Like, the gap, look at the gap like between them. 0.069 of a gap between them when they crossed the start finish line after racing for a full 90 minutes. That is absolutely insane. 59 laps and only like not even a tenth could separate them. But yeah, so we've got Ass Turbo taking up the win. Fantastic stuff. WMDR Martin P2. Ticklish Picklewickle with a fantastic P3. He'll be over the moon with that there. Ultimate Kaze in P4. Bojgrinder in P5. Darefield, Ticklish's teammate in P6, who had a fantastic recovery drive to be fair. Guegwin, who's qualified last and finished P7, so he'll be over the moon with that. Crab in P8. We've got Too Fast, the first of the Baruda boys in P9. And Lord Ideno in P10.
And to round out the rest of our finishers, we have P11 as pole, and GC Raider picking up P12, Needlelap P13, Deepak Raj 14th, JJ picking up P15, and Blari picking up P16. Oh, what a finish to that race it was. You could not call it any closer between those last two, the leaders of this race. As Turbo just getting the victory over WMJR Martin thanks to that slipstream on the final straight. Oh, what a race.
Oh man, what a race. What a race. I love commentating on these guys because every race, no matter what track they are at, it's fantastic to see. And I'm telling you, I'm glad you were there with me because there was so much happening on that last lap that I couldn't commentate fast enough for it to be explained. And I was like, oh no, and then you jumped in and I was like, thank God.
Yeah, well, that's incredible. Just the switching of positions in that last lap, having WMDR Martin manage to dive down the inside into the hairpin. But let's see if we have anyone here for commentary. We do have WMDR Martin waiting, but I kind of want to pick up Ticklish first and save Martin's comments for later. But we will drag in WMDR Martin. We will get Martin in here after an insane finish that race. We cannot believe how close that was. So talk us through those final few laps, Martin, after you managed to get onto the back of Ass Turbo.
Yeah, that was quite something, definitely. So I think I caught him with like 2 or 3 laps left to go, and for basically the entire dry stint, I noticed that I was really catching him through turns, I think 3 and 4, which really require high downforce. So I think I was catching him like maybe at about 3/4 of a second a lap towards the end there. Then finally got onto the back of him. He had a little wobbly moment after turn 2, I think, which with turn 3 being right after that, that was probably my best corner on this track for this race. I was able to throw it up the inside in the turn after that, but was not able to pull away. He was absolutely rapid. So yeah, we ended up going past each other a few times. He usually got me on the straight. That thing has an illegal straight line speed. It's insane. But made for some good battling, that's for sure. And then I'd say on that final lap, he was definitely kissing my bumper throughout that entire last sector. And then I had a really good exit off the final corner, but I guess he had an even better exit. And combined with the slipstream and that insane straight line speed, there wasn't much I could do. But Yeah, I mean, I was able to get back into his slipstream. Almost be able to go over the line side by side, but it was a intense fight. My heart rate was really really high.
Yeah,
I think it's quite funny that you say your heart rate was quite high. When you watch back the stream, you'll realize how high my heart rate was. But yeah, it's fantastic to see. I was just in the rain that you seem to struggle a bit in the rain. You were dropping back behind Boich Grinder and
Yeah.
Ass Turbo.
I don't quite know what was wrong with the car there. It was a lot less nimble than in free practice, and the brakes were absolutely terrible in the rain.
I'm still lost for words. I still I don't know what to ask you. Oh man.
Towards the end of that race, was there any point that you thought of coming out of that last corner in second place for the slipstream to the line, or did you think you could hold him with the run to the line?
No, never. Holding him with the run was the best I could hope for, because in the laps before, when I was like right in his slipstream, he still pulled away from me. So there was not a lot of strategy there. It was just hang on for dear life.
It's still insane
Yeah.
finish, and I still can't believe that race went as it did. But P2 is what you have to settle for, with a gap of 0.069 is what we're seeing. So insane racing there. Thanks for putting on that performance. It made the 90 minutes worth it for those final few laps of insane racing that you had.
Yeah, thanks. Oh, and by the way, I'd like to mention with the tire strats, like ordinarily with I think it was like 17 degrees, you tend to go for softs, which in practice seemed to be not the way to go. So I think S Turbo probably went for hards. I went for hards as well. But Ticklish behind us went for softs, and he was the fastest man on the track for quite a while.
Yeah, we saw Ticklish had a really great pace at the start of that second stint, but seemed to have a bit of issues just keeping the car under control a bit, but still a great finish for him in P3.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's one round to go. Oschersleben next week. After a race like that, what can you expect there?
Second place in the championship, I guess. But for the race itself, I'm hoping for another top 3, because I'm not quite sure what happened to Boj this time out. He just went off the track in turn 3, and it almost looked like his wheel might have disconnected, but then he managed to keep on going in the end. So
yeah, that's what it looked like to us as well. It seemed like he just went off and just ended up in the barrier with no control. Didn't lose control of the car like on the track and spin out. He just kind of rolled off the track into the barrier. So it's unfortunate to see. He did manage to pull back to P5, which we were watching his fight down the field, which was insane to see. So yeah, we're looking forward to next week, and hopefully it'll be a fantastic finale.
yeah, hopefully I can get my first win of the season.
Yeah, we'll hope to see it. Good luck, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, right. See you next week, buddy.
Cheers, guys.
Let's bring in our third place finisher, and I'm gonna say driver of the day, Ticklish Pickle Wickle, with a fantastic podium finish after putting in some insane laps in the second stint and just keeping it together in the wets. So what are the highlights of that race for you, Ticklish?
Well, first off, I'm very flattered about that introduction there. Yeah, I mean, wow, this was just a great race. Honestly, it was so much fun and easily the best one of the season, at least for now. So yeah, just insane, to be honest. I guess, yeah, the first stint before I pitted, I just kind of, as you said, kept it together and didn't make many mistakes. I think I gained a couple of positions actually from where I started, just because some people spun off. So that was kind of what I planned to do. And yeah, for some reason I just got some insane pace after I pitted for the soft tires. So yeah, that definitely kept me in the fight and kept me trying to go. Unfortunately, I made a few mistakes behind Martin, and I will wholeheartedly say that was down to the pressure. I think also down to a bit of a lack of practice, but that was totally on me. And but it is what it is. Regardless, a third place is way more than I ever imagined would come my way in this league.
Yeah, man, you definitely earned it. It was fantastic driving tonight. and it seemed that the BMWs were quite strong. Because even your teammate, I think he finished P7, or maybe it was P6. But yeah, that you seem Martin and the pit stop he went for the hards. Do you kind of regret it, or do you think your pace in the wets towards the end of the race was okay? Because you were catching As Turbo towards the end of the race, anyways.
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely think the softs were the right choice for me. It was, I mean, at least like on a damp track, and we were racing in October in game, so it was also pretty cold and at night as well. So I definitely think it was the right choice. They weren't overheating or anything, so I was definitely I definitely think it was the right choice. But yeah, like the BMW was indeed very strong. I think straight line speed is one thing, and then in the rain it's just a dream to drive. To be honest, it's really good in the wet, which also contributed to me being able to actually hold it together and not spin it. So that was obviously great. And yeah, for some reason I can't really explain how I found the pace there in the dry, but I did. So that was great, and I definitely think the soft tires played a role there.
I think it was just pure pace, to be honest. I think you're doing yourself you're playing yourself down by saying it was the tires. I generally think that you were just with the car. You really did really well tonight, man.
I definitely was. I would say so as well. It was yeah, just an awesome race. Honestly, it was so fun racing out there. Even if I mean, I was by myself for 75% of the race, and it was still just great, just driving the car. It was just handling really well, both in the wet and the dry. So
yeah,
just an overall awesome race for me.
I'd say for about 20% of the stream you were on our cameras, because after the pit stops you were just hunting down Martin. At one stage you were like 3 seconds a lap faster, and we were like, oh my god, Ticklies are gonna win this race. But sadly it wasn't to be. But definitely you did a fantastic job tonight, and you're definitely get the driver of the day from me and Kiki.
I'm blushing.
A great performance tonight, and hopefully we can see a repeat of it next week at Oschersleben for the grand finale of this GTE League season.
Yeah, I definitely hope so. Very tricky track, Oschersleben. So it's gonna be interesting to see how the BMW will handle it. But I will try my hardest to do as well as I can.
Yeah, we'll see you there, and congrats one final time to our third place finisher, Ticklish Picklewickle.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
And last but not least, we'll bring in the flying Spaniard himself, the winner of this race by 0.069 seconds. It is As Turbo. Congratulations on that finish. Just talk us through those final moments battling with WMDR Martin.
Hello. Thank you. It was a very intense race. I was a bit scared in the last 10 laps because I was seeing that it was raining, and I give up in most of the turns of the track, and Martin closed the gap. He passed me in the last 2 laps, and we have a very good battle.
Yeah, it's a fantastic battle to see. Were you struggling a bit in the second half? Your lap time seemed to be a bit slower, or was it just you're looking after your tyres?
No, in the first part of the second stint, I was 7 seconds ahead of Martin, and I was keeping the pace. I had no problems, but about 15 laps to the end, I was seeing drops of rain, and that was scary because I don't know if the track was getting wet. So I was too careful, and Martin get the option to arrive to me.
Wow, it was, if you watch the stream back, you can see it was a really exciting final few moments of that race. The entire race was really fantastic to watch, and you have quite a lead of the championship now. Do you feel you're confident in holding that into the final race?
I really don't know what track is the last race, but everything can happen. Any hardware problem, disconnection, so will be open until the last minute of the championship.
Yeah, well, if you are champion already, then congratulations. If not, we'll see you next week for the finale at Oschersleben. Congratulations to our race winner, Turbo.
Thank you.
Congratulations. See you next week.
See you. Bye.
And that does it here tonight for round 5 action from Fuji GP. What a fantastic race that was, and I still cannot get over that finish. The 0.069 seconds will this one will stick with me for commentating. It was a really brilliant race to watch and be a part of. Congratulations to Turbo for taking the win, WNDR Martin for that real close battle, 2nd place, and Ticklish Picklewickle for picking up the 3rd step of the podium.
Yeah, for sure. Like all season long, we're hyping up this race, and it did not let us down. Sorry, but fantastic stuff. I've just only now caught my breath again, but fantastic stuff. But I don't even know what to say. That's how can you beat that for going into the final round?
You cannot at all. I mean, if you want to see more of that racing, join us next week at Oschersleben. And I think that'll do us for this stream. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Next week.
Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely stream deck. For more information about the stream deck, the link is in the description below.